Alright, in case you were wondering about the intro to sequences, we really didn't do a whole lot of this in class, so there's not much I really wanted to talk about. I know it's super massive looking with all the problems, but we didn't really need to do all the problems. The idea is just taking a look at patterns, okay? And when we look at these patterns, if we're trying to get the next ones, we have to figure out how these patterns are changing. If I look at number 1, I should notice that I'm adding 2 each time for my pattern. So I'd get 14, 16, 18, and so on. But every time I'm repeatedly adding 2 each time. Okay? If we look at another pattern, okay, number 2, we're adding 4 each time. If we look at number 3, okay, now this one's a little different. Now we would hopefully notice we're actually doubling. We're timesing by 2 each time here to get the next number. Okay. If we look at number 4, this one's an interesting pattern because we're adding 2 or timesing by 2. Okay, then we're adding by 8 or timesing by 3. Then adding by 36 or timesing by 4. Okay, so I don't think the addition, I don't see a pattern there. Okay, but look at that multiplication. Then we're timesing by 5. Then we're timesing by 6, and by 7, then by 8. Okay, so there is a pattern there. We can look at number 5 and realize that we're counting by odds on the top and by evens on the bottom. Okay, to figure that one out. But that one we don't really care about so much. Okay, if we look at number 7, we're adding by 3 each time. If we look at number 9, we're subtracting 8 each time. If we look at number 10, this one's interesting. We go positive to negative to positive to negative. So we're actually multiplying by negative 5 each time. That's how it changes from positive to negative. Okay? And the idea of really what this was designed to do is to highlight different types of patterns. Okay? There's patterns when we add or subtract. Okay? The same thing every time. That's one type of pattern, and it actually has a name. It's called an arithmetic pattern. Okay? So with arithmetic, we add or subtract, because addition by a negative number is the same as subtraction, by the same number each time. Okay? And there's something special about that type of pattern. The other type of pattern is when we multiply by the same number each time. Okay? Those are what we call geometric. When we multiply or divide by the same number each time. And in this unit that we're covering in class, we're going to look more into those arithmetic and geometric patterns and talk about those. Okay, there are lots of other patterns, like we see this pattern here. Okay, there's a pattern of going 1, 4, 9, 25. That's like 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 16, then 25. 4 squared, 5 squared. Pattern here, okay, where that is a pattern, we're timesing by a bigger number each time. Or this fraction pattern, okay? But those other patterns we're not worrying about this year, so we just consider those neither. If they're not arithmetic or geometric, that's all we care about, that they're neither, okay? So that's really all I wanted to cover in this intro to sequences. Nothing big, nothing crazy, not homework, not really, well, a little bit of notes, I guess, right here. But we'll delve more into these types of arithmetic and geometric patterns as we get going. So that's kind of all we needed to do on this one.